1 second, guys.
This call is now being recorded.
Okay, so for the sake of those who might not know me, I'm just going to do like a quick introduction of myself once again, and then I'll dive into this conversation on product thinking. Right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Olabanji Ewenla, and I'm a product manager at Dash Out Technologies in Texas, US, where we are building logistics solutions and transportation solutions for a target group of people, right? And I'm also the co-founder of Enoverlab. Of course, we are in Enoverlab product session at this particular point in time. And I'm also the author of The Blood Money in Tech, right? That's The Blood Money in Tech is a book that I wrote to help people really understand how to come into the tech industry and to build a career in the tech industry, right? And how to be able to build like a sustainable career. You know, if there's something I am very personally passionate about is sustainability and building things that really last and not just having things that exist for a short time. Right. So, but just to, bring a little, just to get to know me better to some certain extent, I'm very passionate about delivering consistent value to users, right? And also ensuring a product success in the marketplace. I'm very particular about growth. And so I'm more focused on anything that is going to lead to sustainable growth on a long term. I'm not just looking at, building a product and then letting the product stay for a short while and then maybe leave the market. And of course, I'm open to things not happening as much as I expected, but I also ensure that if I do the fundamental things right, I would not have to deal with like a failed product. Yeah. So that's to some certain extent. I said, again, this section is not about myself. I just wanted to just share a little bit of myself, just in case we have people on this call that probably are just joining this section for the first time, right? And outside of product management, of course, I'm a musician. I play the piano. I lead a music band, and of course, that's what I do outside of product management. So, if I'm not thinking about product or trying to do something coaching related, what we do at Enoverlab, and of course, you definitely find me either listening to music, doing music, and any of those areas or any of those phases. But yeah, we are here today talking about product thinking, right? And that's the essence of. Oh, Godwin plays instrument as well. Amazing, Godwin. Glad to connect, my fellow instrumentalists. All right, so today we're talking about product thinking. And if there is something that is so important for every product manager to understand this product thinking, especially as an entry-level product manager, right? One of the first things that recruiters and hiring managers and senior PMs who want to hire product managers look out for is how that person thinks, especially from the product management context. And again, because product management is quite broad, so you have varying, people will focus on different aspects of product thinking, right? But there are some very core aspects that we always want you, it's important for you as an entry-level PM to really focus your attention on. There are some very core aspects that is important for you to focus your attention on. It's important for you to be able to say that, okay, this is my understanding about what I want to do as a product manager, and how do I convert that understanding into something that can then be deliverable, right? Or something that can be delivered as a product, right? How do I take that from something that can be delivered as a product? And so product thinking is something that a lot of times when people learn product management, people do not learn product thinking. You'll see people take courses and people talk about product life cycle, they'll talk about user stories, probably talk about prioritization, talk about minimum viable product. And people talk about, you learn quite a lot of things, but probably you don't learn product thinking, right? And I can remember for a lot of our cohorts at Enoverlab, one of the things that we always ensure is that product thinking class is something that we get you to really be involved in. Because it's like the core of your foundation as a product manager. And if, like the Bible says, again, not trying to be religious, but yeah, as the Bible says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? And I think it applies to product management in a certain way. And I think it also applies to every aspect of life in a certain way. And product thinking is that one of those core foundations that you need to really have firm as a product manager, if you don't have it properly firm in terms of like your understanding of how to go about product management, then of course it will show in what you do as you go along the line, right? It will definitely show. One of the things that people do during interview section is to ask you questions like, oh, I don't know if anybody has gone through an interview, a product manager interview, and they ask you any question around, tell us a product that you use today or a product that you use very often, and what problem is that product solving for you, and what's the value of the product to you. Has anybody attended any interview like that? You can put your answer in the chat section. Okay, yeah, thank you, B. Any other person attended an interview where they asked you about your experience with a product that you have personally used? Tajuddin, okay. Or put your answers in the chat section so that we can be involved together. Chat section. Product thinking. Anybody? Let me see. Yes, exactly. That's how they start to test how you understand product management, right? And your response, how you reply to those questions that they ask you, or that particular specific question that you have been asked, it's going to determine a whole lot of things for you as a product manager during that interview. If you answer that question, if you answer those questions solidly, or that question solidly, you have literally laid the foundation that is going to make it easier for you to go through that interview process much more easily. And that question is always they just want to understand your product thinking, right? They just want to understand your product thinking. Okay, Yomi, let me hear from you, Yomi. You have your hands raised. Hi, Yomi. Blessing, can you hear me just to confirm that I'm audible?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I said yes with my ends. That's what I did.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. So let's jump right into it. And I want to give us a personal experience, right? And it's something that I've shared with people that I've personally worked with, or people that I've trained at Enoverlab personally, right? Sometime last year, I did a detailed product thinking process where I did a product teardown for about a month stretch on Netflix, right? And I did it on my LinkedIn, and I posted it on my LinkedIn. For a month, I was doing product teardown on different aspects of Netflix features, right? I did onboarding, did their sign-up process, did their movie, major features of Netflix at that particular point in time. And I went deep into the conversations. I went deep into my research, did like background check on Netflix, checked their history. And in doing all of that last year, it was sometimes around, I think, April, May. I think it was May specifically, right? In doing all of that last year, it really exposed my mind to plenty of things. And that was like maybe one of the first major product teardown that I did very, very deep, right? I went deep into different aspects of Netflix strategy, their ideas, their marketing approach. It got to a point where some of my colleagues were calling me Banji the Netflix PM, right? It got to that point where people were calling me like the Netflix PM, all of that, right? And during that entire process, it really exposed my mind to a lot of things that, I would say has been sort of integral for me as a product manager in the last 1 year, right? Aside from that, I went through that process and it opened me up to fresh ideas. I also got the opportunity to have conversations with the former VP of product at Netflix, that's Gibson Bidu. I also got the opportunity to have conversations with Mark Randolph. Mark Randolph is the co-founder of Netflix with what's the name of the other guy again, right? This guy that wrote that book, right? So, and it was a huge privilege for me to have conversations with them, because by doing that consistently for like a month stretch, it expanded my mind about product management. And a lot of times when we think about products, people majorly focus on the technology, and they focus on the application, and they focus on the software, or they focus on the hardware. I want to build a tech, want to build an app, want to build a website, want to build whatever it is that you want to build, software as a service, SaaS, right? So many times people focus on what they want to build. And product management is far beyond what you want to build, right? So, and I'm going to dive into this conversation on product thinking just to sort of expand your mind beyond actual product, like application that you want to build, or software that you want to build, or hardware that you want to build, or whatever it is that you actually want to deliver to your potential target users or the audience that you want to build the product for, right? And I'll sort of highlight some of the things that I did back then when I did the Netflix teardown. So, but let's talk about product thinking. For me, can you all see my screen? Check, check. Yes, yes, you can put in chat.
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So, product thinking is the ability to understand what makes a product stand out for the customer, while at the same time increasing business value. And this is how this is how you should look at product thinking, right? It's not just limited to the actual product. Many times people focus on the product on itself, but it's about how the product works for the users, and at the same time, how that same product works for the business. I always say that as a product manager, your two most important goals is to ensure that your product works successfully for your users, that's the target users, and that same product is also able to deliver value to the business. Let's leave, again, plenty conversations around user stories, prioritization, metrics, and all the different product management things that you can do, right? At the end of the day, the essence of all of those things is to ensure that the product works successfully for the users. That means it meets their needs, it solves their problems, and then that same product also works successfully for the business. It means that the business is not just going to build the product and then not have a means of benefit back to the business. So those are the two most important things. And if you do not derail your mind, like you try to keep your mind to those two things, you will do excellently well as a PM. Ensure that every product that you are in charge of, that's every product that you manage, every product that you want to build, or you are building, or you have built, the two most important things is that the users, the target users or the target customers get value from that product. And the other thing is that the business also get value from that product. And so product thinking is like the mindset that a product manager needs to have, right, to develop and deliver a product that solves real customer problems and also meets core business needs, right? And it's that ability to have that mindset that, okay, what do we need to do? How do we need to go about what we need to do? What changes can we make? What value can we add? What extra feature can we add? Or what feature can we remove? Because many times people don't talk about removing features, right? So it's that mindset that you need to have to develop and deliver a product that is going to solve real customer problems and also meet actual core business needs. Because at the end of the day, all the long and short of the story of product management, all the frameworks that you're going to learn, all the user stories, all the PRDs you're going to write, at the end of the day, what really matters is that that product works successfully for the people that you are going to build it for, and the business also is able to make whatever the business wants to make from that product. And so don't be so overly focused on learning how to write user stories. Not because learning how to write user stories is bad, not because knowing how to do metrics is bad, or prioritization, or knowing all the prioritization frameworks in the world, or understanding product terminologies. As much as they are great, at the end of the day, the cocoa is that this application that you have built, would it work for the people that you have built it for? And would they use it? At the end of the day, that's all that matters, right? And after that is being successfully achieved, where, okay, you have a product now works for the users, you now have to think about that same product also meeting the business needs. Because if the business does not make money, even you or me as a product manager, no salary for me, right? And I've heard different scenarios of people working at startups, and then they work for the startup for like 6 months, and then 6 months later, the startup say everybody should go back to their house, they are not making any money. And I have a real life scenario, plenty real life scenario, some that are very close to me, some that are not so close to me, right? Plenty of different scenarios of people being involved in building products. And then those products at the end of the day didn't fly from a business context. And at the end of the day, because it's a startup, they don't have money, they don't have investors to invest into the business. Of course, they'll lay everybody off and say everybody should go back home because they can't pay you your salary, right? So that's what really matters at the end of the day. Right. And product management is really all about bridging the world of problems as user needs and solutions that you want to build. right? You're bridging the world of problems, right? That's problems that are existing on the ground, right? Problems that you want to solve, and then the solutions that you want to build. And that's your job as a product manager. You want to bridge that world. So there is problems to be solved. There is solutions to be built. That's the application or the software as a service, or the website, or the hardware that you want to build, whatever it is that you want to provide, right? And then you have to build a bridge between those two things. All right. So connecting that problem to the product seamlessly in such a way that the thing just the two just meets together, and there is a sync between the two products. Right. So how do we then bridge that world of problems and that solutions is what takes us into product thinking. How you can be able to bridge that world of problems that you want to solve, and then the solutions, the product that you want to build is really what product thinking is going to help us to achieve. Right. So if we're going to say foundation of product thinking, and these are the things that product thinking can be quite broad, and different people look at product thinking from different various perspectives, different various mindsets and all of that. But I've narrowed down product thinking into these 6 things. Right? If you can understand these 6 things and continue to build your mind around these 6 things, right, you're going to do a better job as a PM. These 6 things on the screen right now. If you can understand these 6 things and you are able to really build, again, it's not a one-time thing, it's a continuous process. Right? It's not like a one-time process where, you understand these 6 things now. These 6 things are always evolving for every product. They are not always the same for every product. And if you understand the concept of product life cycle, maturity stages of product requires continuous product innovation and all of that, right? But these 6 things primarily on the screen is really what's going to, it's the major aspect of product thinking that you really want to really key your mind into. First thing here is problem statement, basically saying, what problem do you want to solve? Like this is probably one of the, I think I was talking to some of our students yesterday. I was like, I think it was, what's their name again? I was talking about how this conversation about what problem do you want to solve, it sounds like somebody is like a radio that is just making noise, because we keep saying, you hear every product manager is going to be telling you, what problem do you want to solve? What problem do you want to solve? And as repetitive as that statement sounds, and as repetitive as you would have probably heard what problem do you want to solve in product management probably gazillion times, at the end of the day, people still build the wrong products. And so, because there's that tendency for us to always focus on what we are trying to do more than what we want to do for other people. All of us human beings are like that. There's that tendency for, naturally, you will think about yourself first, then you will think about somebody next, naturally. So let's say psychologically, every human being, myself inclusive, we are wired like that, where we think about ourselves first before somebody else. So it means that when you're thinking about what problem you want to solve for somebody else, it takes extra effort, right, for a product manager to really think about what they want to solve for somebody else. And that's why in organizations, product managers are the ones that really have to be that conscious, because the CEO would probably not be thinking every time about, he wants to solve problem for people. He'll be thinking about the business, how he wants to make money, how he wants to change the world, how he wants to make impact, how he wants to do this, how he wants to do that, right? But designers, of course, will be thinking about design. Software developers and engineers will be thinking about engineering and how to build the tech. But you as a PM, you have to be consciously thinking about the users, actively thinking about users, right? Because without the users, there's literally no business. Not just tech products. In short, every business in the world thrives on a user, right? I went to a restaurant this afternoon after church. They need me to come to the restaurant to buy food. If I don't come to buy food, the restaurant is going to cease to exist. Maybe not only me, of course, everybody in my environment that buys food from that restaurant. So what problem do you want to solve? And as repetitive as this, as you hear this statement of what problem do you want to solve, there is that tendency for every one of us to be lackadaisical or lackadaisical. I'm an English person, but don't mind me. I'm trying to speak English correctly. So there's that tendency for you to be maybe lackadaisical about that. Say, yeah, what problem do you want to? I want to solve this problem. I want to solve this problem. Right? I remember somebody reached out to me sometimes back, and it was talking about what they had already been working on, and they had even gone far into their process. And I just asked the person one question: what problems are you guys trying to solve? And he could not give me like a definite, concise answer about what they want to solve. And I told him, my friend, go back to the drawing board. Start from the basics, right? What problems are you solving? And you have to be super clear about it. If you are giving me 1 million explanation to explain the problem that you are trying to solve, that means you are not clear about it, right? And if you're not clear about it, of course, obviously, you cannot solve the problem that you're not clear about. Any problem you're not clear about, you cannot solve. Then the next thing here is target users. And target user is not just about saying, oh, I want to build products for Nigerian youth, or I want to build products for transportation, I want to build products for children, right? The next question is, who has that problem that you want to solve? You're not just thinking about you want to build a product for children. The question is, the first place is, what problem do you want to solve? The second is, who has that problem? Not just anything, but who has that specific problem that you want to solve? That's where your target users come from, right? You need to know who are the kinds of people, who is the user segment that has this problem that I want to solve, or these problems that I want to solve. And again, you have to be super clear, right? I used to tell my people that, please don't say you're building product for everybody. People say that a lot. And I used to tell them, don't say you cannot build product for everybody. Almighty Google, almighty Apple, everybody in the world are not still using Google. Everybody in the world are not still using Apple. And these are like probably one of the two largest companies in the world today, right? We are 7 billion people in the world. Not all 7 billion people is using an Apple device. And not all 7 billion people has access to a Google service, not even Gmail. So it means that everybody in the world cannot use your product. So please don't give us that. If they ask you during an interview, oh, what are you going to build this product for? And you start to say, anybody can use the product. That is, permit me to use the word, crap. That means that you do not know your onions. That's one of the ways that we know that this person wants to know what he or she is trying to do. Right? If you say, oh, anybody can use the product. Anybody, don't build your product for anybody. Build your product for a specific target user that has the problem that you want to solve. This is a very important aspect of product thinking. Then what's the vision that you want to achieve? What's like the long-term goal? Right? I'm not going to dwell on this too much because there's plenty of perspectives to product vision, right? Then what's the business objectives? What does the business want to achieve? This is also something that you need to think about, right? If the business wants to make money, you need to know. If the business does not want to make money yet, you need to know. If the business wants to perform a particular action, you need to know. If the business wants to go to so and so place, it's something that you also need to think about. Many times, again, entry-level PMs just focus on product, and then forget that there's a business to build. I remember I was listening to James Amate's session. James, came to Enoverlab session some months back, and he talked about how we are always talking about user. But at the end of the day, there's also a place for the business. In short, a very important place for the business. Like I said, if the business does not make money, you as a product manager, you don't have a salary. Who is going to pay you when the business is not making money? Right? So, again, you have to think about what is the benefit? What does the business want to achieve? And what is the benefit of the product to the business? Right? And how can, even if it's not compulsory that every product has to make money, right? You can be building an NGO product. You can be building a freemium product like Facebook, Twitter, but still, at the end of the day, they have to still have a revenue generating model. If not, the business is going to die. For example, Facebook is free for everybody to use, but the opposite direction of it is that they put adverts into Facebook and you get to see the advert, and that's how Facebook make money. Right? YouTube, you can watch YouTube for free, but then YouTube puts ads into your face, and that's how they make money. Right? Or you pay for YouTube Premium. I think I pay for YouTube Premium 1,100 per month, and then you don't have to see any YouTube ad. Right? So there has to be a business model, and you are not a business developer or a business manager, so it's not like you have to go deep into it, but you have to have an idea. You have to have like that business mindset as you do your job as a product manager. Then of course, the actual product that you're going to be building, what are you going to be delivering to solve the problem? Right? Now, as you can see, if if you look at this thing chronologically, you're not thinking about the product first. You're thinking about the problem you want to solve, who has the problem, the vision, the business objectives before the product. But many times people start from the product. They first think, I want to build one technology that can do this, or I want to build a technology that can send money from Nigeria to South Africa, and people should be able to do that effortlessly. You know, that's how startup founders think. That's how founders think, right? Somebody will say, I want to build this application to be able to help women manage their cycles, right? And they just start from the product without first starting from what problem do they want to solve. And for you as a PM, that should be like the thing that should be repetitive around your head, because like I said, we product managers are like the advocates for the users. We are the one that ensures that users get value from the products. You know, CEOs will not be thinking about the user too much. Many CEOs think about the user. Developers will be thinking about the technology. Designers will be thinking about design. QA will be thinking about testing. Marketing will be thinking about marketing. You know, depending on how big the team is, different teams will be thinking about different things. Customer success will be thinking about ensuring that the users, you know, have a great experience, right, within and outside of the customer journey. But you as a PM, your primary job is to ensure that the users get value. Primarily, users should get value, and that is all that matters. And so the question is, what are you going to be delivering to help them solve the problems that they have? So basically, it means that you are saying, what will you be delivering to solve the problem for the people that have the problem? I think that's maybe a very smoother way to say it. What would you be delivering to solve the problem for the people that have the problem? And then finally, it's saying the strategy part, because strategy is an important part of products. If you build a product and you do not have a strategy about sustaining the product in the market, that product is also going to die out of the market. And that is why for more established companies, they are thinking about, you know, hiring more experienced PMs to think more about strategy, product, CPUs. They are always thinking about strategy. They're always thinking about how do we ensure that this product delivers value to the target audience, achieve the business objectives and the product vision that we want to achieve. And so these 6 things are primarily okay, so let me go ahead. These 6 things are primarily now product thinking can be better than these 6 things, right? You can do more things than these 6 things, right? But these 6 things are like very core to product thinking as a product. 1 second, guys. Let me quickly do this. Okay. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so let's go ahead. So these 6 things are like the core important tenets of product management. If you can answer these 6 questions and you really understand these 6 things, your mindset as a product manager continuously is not a one-time answer. This like this 6 things: problem statement, target users, product vision, business objectives, the product that you actually want to build, your understanding about the product that you want to build, and then the strategy about how you want to deliver that product to the market. If you can really build your mindset around these 6 things, you can do an excellent job as a PM. But of course, it's not immediately, it's over time. It's a continuous process. It's a lifelong process, because tech is always evolving, technology is always evolving, and the way we do things would also be evolving. And so it's important that, of course, you keep improving on primarily these 6 things, but again, it's not limited to these 6 things. But I just want us to majorly focus on these 6 things, because for you at this point of your career, you know, entry level, you really have to own these 6 things strongly, right? And the way you think around these 6 things, the way you think about problem statements, the way you think about target users, the vision that you want to achieve for the product, the business objectives, then the actual product that you want to build in itself, Then how do you want to deliver that product, in a sustainable manner for an extensive period of time? These are all aspects of product thinking that you really want to have. And like I put here, if you can answer the 6 questions, right, those 6 questions are under those 6 things. What problem do you want to solve? Who do you want to solve the problem for? What's the long-term vision? What's the business objectives? You can answer those 6 things. You can literally bridge the world of problems with specific product solutions. Literally. There's no product that you cannot fix with these 6 questions. Literally. There's no product that you cannot fix with these 6 questions, right? Because it's very fundamental to product management in its essence. Let's again, I said it earlier. Let's leave all the core frameworks, all the plenty things that all of us learn, right? And by the way, all the frameworks are important. I'm not saying they are not important, but at the end of the day, everything is leading to ensuring that you build a product that solves customers' problem, or that meets user needs, and then the business is also getting value from it. At the end of the day, every product management process is to achieve those 2 primary things. And for you to achieve those 2 primary things, you have to have this mindset, right, around these 6 questions. So if you cannot answer those 6 questions clearly, there will be problems along the way if you go ahead to build the product, right? So if you cannot answer those 6 questions clearly for any product at all, right? So for example, if they ask you questions in interview and say, oh, tell us a product that you use today, and tell us a product that you use today, and how, what's your experience with that product? Any question that relates to like this sort of question that I've just asked, you want to highlight these 6 things in your answer. So for example, if they ask me, hi Banji, welcome to our interview, blah, 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 blah. Tell us about a product that you use today. And I'll say, oh, hi everyone, my name is Olabanji. One of the products that I love to use is Google Meet, right? And I go on, oh, Google Meet, for me, the problems that Google Meet is solving, that's where I'll typically answer that question. I go straight to the problems. The problems that Google Meet is solving for me is, the stress of having to have maybe a physical meetup or a professional meeting. And so I'm able to, again, I'm just trying to come up with something roughly, the stress of having a professional meeting, or let's say moving around Lagos to come to a place to have a professional meeting that can just be held online, something like that, right? And I go to, what are the kinds of people that can use Google Meet? And I will just sort of just break down these 6 things, right, in my answer, right? But primarily, they'll be looking at you to answer 2 major things from these 6 things are the problems and the target user, and then the value. Yeah, problems, target user, value. Yeah, something, around those 3 things would be great. But if you're looking for something more detailed, you probably want to go to those 6 things in total, right? But initially, just for like a summary, when you answer that question about what products do you use today, or what's your favorite product, tell us about, the benefit of that product to you. You can just answer the problems the product is solving and be very clear and concise. Then who is the target user? What do you think is the target user? Then you also think about maybe specific issues on that product that you think that could be made better. That's one of the ways to also answer those questions during the interview. You think about specific things that, I use this product, but the user experience is not so great. Or I use this product and it took them so much time to go from one place to another place, and we can go on and on into that, those you can go on into those breakdown of the products. So let's keep here. So how do you develop your product thinking skills? Literally, how do you build that mindset? And it's very simple. Product teardowns, right? Product teardowns is something that I will always tell. And in short, if you can, the more teardowns you can do in the early stage of your career, right, the better for you. And the more deeper you can go into teardowns, the better for you, because you are building yourself, right? You are building yourself. So the more teardowns you can do, again, my mentor will say, she will advise, if you are just starting out in product management, she will say, do 30 teardowns. Mic check. Blessing, can you hear me? Hi, Blessing, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
We can hear
Can
you.
hear you, Banji.
Hey, we can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Awesome. I think I lost my network for a bit. All right. So, product tear down, like I said, my mentor will say that if you're just starting out in product management, do tear down every single day for 30 days. Or you do one product and you tear down that product in details, like I did for Netflix, right? So, but what is product tear down? It's just the process of taking apart the product by asking questions to understand why certain actions and decisions were taken. So you sort of just be like a surgeon, like you do like a medical surgeon, like you open up a product out, right? It's like dissecting the product to understand the product better, and very importantly, learn from the product. So you dissect the product, you want to understand the product better, and the most important thing for that is because you want to learn from the product. And imagine you do 30 product teardowns in a full 1 month stretch. That you cannot come out of that 30 product teardown and not be a better person as a product manager. So if you do 30 days teardown, just the way designers do design challenge and developers do coding challenge, right? If you do a teardown challenge for yourself, right, there is no way that if you do that teardown challenge, like do it really, really well, like pay attention to the details. There's no way you're not going to come out at the end of that teardown challenge and not come out a more with a broader mindset to product management. There's no way, right? Because you just learn from the product. You will understand products better. You will understand ideas better. You will understand how product managers think. You will understand how CEOs think. You will understand a lot of things, and it will help you. And all of that is, of course, adding up to your knowledge bank, which is at the end of the day, on the days that matter, during interviews, and let's even remove interviews, during actual working on the job as a PM, you see that things will come into your mind that you don't even know that, oh, did I know that thing before? And those ideas will just pop, right? So, and this is how you want to literally build your product thinking skills. Intentionally do teardowns, like intentionally, with attention to details, because it will go a long way in helping you do an excellent job as a PM, right? So before I go ahead, let me know if okay, maybe we should keep the question to the end, right? Okay, 1 sec. Okay, I think I stopped sharing my screen mistakenly. Okay, can you hear me? Hi guys,
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, awesome. So, like I said, product thinking is not limited to those. Like I said, product thinking problem statements and all, right? Product thinking can also go beyond those 6 things, right? So, but yeah, some extra questions that you can ask, because product teardown, for you to build your product thinking skills, it's all about product teardown. And product teardown is just all about asking questions to dissect a product. And the essence of dissecting that product is to learn from what they have done in the product, right? A very key rule when it comes to doing product teardowns, right? You don't want to be thinking about if your answers are right or wrong. I think this is one of the major challenges people face. They're always thinking if the answer is right or wrong, right? Am I giving the right answer? See, product management is not about being a perfectionist. If you have a perfectionist mindset, you may probably not do so well as a product manager. Because product management is more about experimentation than it is about building perfect stuffs. I'll say that again. Product management has a lot of experimentation. If you have a experimentation mindset, you will do better as a product manager than if you have a perfectionist mindset, right? So experimentation means that you are testing things out. You are doing tests and you are doing multiple tests, and then you look for things that work. The ones that work, you retain the things that work. The one that doesn't work, you don't retain it. You let those things go, right? But if you have a perfectionist mindset, you probably not do well as a PM. So if you bring it to the context of answering these questions, again, these questions are not exhaustive, right? In the sense of that, oh, these are all the questions that you can potentially ask. It can be broader than this, right? So it means that you are finding potential answers that can work. That's the whole idea. Finding potential answers that can work, right? So it's not about getting a perfect answer. So, because I know some of us can be very scared. I think I've been there too anyway. So it's not like, maybe I don't sound like as if it's easy, right? I've been there too where I've been scared. I remember when I was doing Netflix teardown, I was scared about the answers that I was putting. I just, I meant to just encourage me, and I just went and just do it, and I went deep into it and all of that, right? And I posted it, and nobody killed me for the things that I posted. Right. In short, I got more traction. People reached out to me. People liked the things that I shared. We had plenty of conversations. I learned a whole lot more. Other people shared different ideas around it. And that was part of the things that led me to also have conversation with Gibson Bidu, former VP of product at Netflix. Right. So these are questions that you can ask. And the idea is not to get a perfect answer, because you cannot even get a perfect answer. Right. The idea is to get potential answers that can work. That's the whole idea. Get as many potential answers that can work as possible. So you're not going to be writing one answer for these things. You'll be looking at many other potential answers that can also work. Right. So I don't want us to do, let me see. I don't want us to dive deep into some other conversations, because this is basically what product thinking is all about, right? On a very fundamental level. Of course, we can go deeper, but I don't want to give you guys too many things at the same time to dive into. If you can handle these 6 things, primarily these 6 things that I've just shared, where's that screen again? Right? If you can handle these 6 things that I've just shared, primarily, you will do an excellent job as a PM over time. Of course, if you build your mindset around those 6 things, right, you will do an excellent job as a product manager over time. It's not immediately, please. It's not immediately, but over time, as you build your mind around these 6 things, right? Your problem statement. What problem do you want to solve? The target user. Who has the problem? Who has that problem that you want to solve? The product vision. Right? What's the long-term goal of the product? The business objectives. What does the business want to achieve? Right? Then the product that you want to build, basically saying, what would you be delivering to solve the problem? And then finally, the strategy. And if you can sort of wrap your mind around, if you can wrap your mind and build your mind around these 6 things, you are going to do you're going to develop that product thinking, you're going to develop that product management mindset. And the more you do that with teardowns, you do teardowns where you tear down a product and you ask multiple questions regarding that product, and you go deep into that product, by asking these questions. What problems is this product solving? Look at the product, open the app, ask yourself, what problem is this product solving? Try to go deep into the application and just think, why did they build this product? What is the essence of this product? What's the value of this product to me as a user? Right? If I don't get this value from this product, will I still use this product? Or if I don't get this value, will I still use this product? Those are questions that you can sort of just ask yourself, and then pen down your answers. Importantly, write your answers either in a Google Doc, a paper, a pen, a diary, whatever it is that you're most comfortable with. Pen down your answers. Because it's in penning down your answers that you're able to now expand those thoughts further. So without further ado, this is primarily how you're going to build your product thinking skills with product teardowns, right? Asking questions around these 6 fundamental things on the screen. So the more questions you can ask around these 6 things on the screen, the better you build that mindset that a product manager is expected to have. And the result of that, right, the result of being able to build that mindset continuously is that you'll be able to bridge the world of problems with the solutions that you want to build, which is the product that you want to build. The better you are with product thinking, the more easier it will be for you to bridge that world of problem. So you see a problem that you want to solve, and then you bridge that problem with a solution that you have to build. So the more you can answer those 6 questions, the more answers, the more variety of answers you can put together for those 6 things, right? The easier it is that it's going to be for you to be able to bridge the world of problems with solutions that you're building, right? So, and this is the end of this